Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
2 dead in Clarendon crashes. 2 motorists have died as a result of injuries they received in separate accidents between Friday night and Saturday morning. The first crash occurred at the intersection of Muirhead Avenue and Jacob's Hut about 7 p.m. Friday. It involved a Toyota Succeed that was heading in an easterly direction and a motorcycle going south. It is reported that the motorcycle made impact with the left front section of the vehicle. The motorcyclist received injuries to his head and was taken to the Maple Hospital, where he died while undergoing treatment. In the second incident, a white Honda Stream was traveling along Bustamante Drive in Lionel Town about 2:48 Saturday morning when the driver, in exiting a minor road, drove onto the edge of the sidewalk and the vehicle overturned. A 65-year-old male occupant received injuries to his head. He was transported to the Lionel Town Hospital, where he died while undergoing treatment. It was not immediately clear how many other occupants were in the vehicle. Their identities have not been released as their families are yet to be notified. Police officer injured during confrontation, his attacker fatally shot in St. Andrew. A police constable assigned to the St. Andrew South Division was shot and injured during a confrontation at 7th Street, Greenwich Town, Kingston 13 on Friday. He is currently receiving medical treatment at the hospital. His attacker, an unidentified man, was shot and killed during the incident and a firearm seized. The matter was reported to the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom and the Inspectorate and Professional Standard Oversight Bureau. Police constable among 6 shot and injured in Palmer's Cross, Clarendon. A police constable is among 6 people receiving treatment at hospital following a shooting in Palmer's Cross, Clarendon on Saturday. Reports from the Maple Police are that about 12:05 a.m., the officer was among a group of patrons at a party when armed men entered the premises and opened gunfire at them. The assailants then proceeded to steal money from the serving area before they escaped. Lawmen responded to the shooting and the victims were taken to hospital, where the constable and another man have been admitted in serious but stable condition, while the others are being treated and released. The Police High Command is now urging its members to exercise vigilance at all times, given the violent nature of the environment in which they work. Investigations are ongoing. Gas station office manager charged for $2 million larceny. A 30-year-old gas station office manager in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, was charged with larceny as a servant in connection to a missing $2.5 million from the business account. Charged is 30-year-old Sasha Gailey of Portmore, St. Catherine. She was charged in connection with 2 separate incidents at the gas station between November 2022 and February 2023. Reports from the Spanish Town Police are that the complainant conducted an audit of his business account to which Lee had access. The complainant discovered that the sum was missing from the account. Lee was confronted and admitted to taking the money. She was later arrested and subsequently charged. Her court date is being finalized. Saint and Member of Parliament calls on Health Ministry to increase staff complement at the Monique Health Centre.
For those of us who are members of Parliament and represent people, whether we have families and our families are our constituents or our divisions, we are confronted daily by people who are ill and who cannot afford private health care. Many times, a lot of them sit and suffer with basic illnesses. Sometimes it is hypertension that goes over time, that becomes even worse, that turns into a stroke. Oftentimes it is diabetes when it gets too far. Sometimes it is a cancer. And what I've found representing people, even from a very young age, I'm now in my 4th term, going 20 years, is that often when people don't have money, their health suffers. And growing up and listening to stories from older people, they would tell you that back in the day, the doctors used to live in the communities at the community centers, the nurses, the midwives, and people trusted their community health center. It is for that reason that when I first became Member of Parliament of this constituency, I convinced the then Minister, before Dr. Tufton, Minister Fenton Ferguson, to give us a Center of Excellence in Claremont. So that smaller health center that was there, we now have a Center of Excellence. It's one of a few in the islands to upgrade Claremont. And when I used to visit this health center, what broke my heart is that people used to have to sit out here in the rain you would have people who are sick, children who have a cold, children who have an ear infection. And those of us who are mothers know that when a child is sick, you are not only miserable, but the child is even more miserable. So if you have to have the child in the sun. But there's something else that this health center does which goes unnoticed. This is the health center that treats a lot of the mental health patients across the community, across the constituency, and even across St. Anne. It is a community health aides that do the visits and go into the communities from this health center. It is this health center that people come to twice a week, every second Friday, to get their regular checkups and psychiatric care. And for those of you who have been following some of the things that I've been saying, some of the other things that other ministers have been saying, the truth is that we don't pay enough attention to mental health in this country. Only 7% of our children's mental health needs are actually being met because we only have 2 child psychiatrists, for instance, and we don't have enough child psychologists and enough people going out there. So one of the things I want to say in thanking the NERA is to say also that can we have an ambulance for the Center of Excellence out in Claremont, and can we have more staff here that can actually get out into the communities. As a member of parliament, I will tell you, over the last month, I've dealt with 5 people with suicidal ideations. Women who are just don't feel like they're coping. And it is something I will talk to Mrs. Lamb after about. But this is, Minister, I want to thank you, because Monique is a community that is an example for Jamaica. It is an example because we have the Monique community, but the Monique College that is here. It is an example because this has been a beacon starting many different things, like the Jamaica Social Welfare Program that later turned into the SDC, with community members raising their voices about how to get activism in Jamaica. So Monique means something not only to St. Anne, but it means something to Jamaica. It is a community of excellence, education, hardworking people. It is a transshipment for logistics now because it has basically the highway running through it with 2 exits, one here and one in Golden Grove. So you do need a facility that if someone gets sick traveling from Kingston to Montego Bay, that there is a facility that they can get off in Unity Valley, which is now here. And it fits in, Minister, with the other upgrades that we're doing. The transportation center that we're building out in Monique, and I'm happy to see the 2 councillors, because please ask the parish council to get the procurement going through, please, ma'am, and the extension of the wayside bus terminus for Monique College to help the students with security. So I want to thank Ms. Lamb. I want to thank the chairman of the board, Mrs. Heron. I want to thank the minister as a member of parliament, because believe it or not, we've done some good work together. Myself, even though we're on opposite sides, myself and the ministers of government have gotten some good work done in this constituency, and the people know. So thank you, and thank you.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell